Petra had an experience today that was really profound and that can be very helpful for you if you're struggling with still serving to others and doing things because others are expecting it from you.
I go to physiotherapy clinic, which is really amazing, but they are a little bit more pricey. They happen to have their craniosacral osteopathy method, which is amazing and very soft, and I immediately ordered me. And today after meditation, I just checked randomly that she's making the therapy in her own home, in her own house, and the therapies are much cheaper. So basically the physio clinic is charging her much more money for the same therapy. So I immediately called her and asked her if I can order me and to her house and not to the clinic, and I canceled the appointment in a clinic. The lady, which is the craniosacral therapist, told me that she doesn't really do it happily because I'm already a client of a physiotherapy clinic. But of course, she would like to welcome me in her place, and she ordered me. And I said to her after that meditation, I was quite fired. And I said, I've always done everything for other people. This time I would like to do something for me. It's much more expensive for me, and I also think about money. So it's much more affordable if I go to your house and we don't have to pay, or I don't have to pay the money to the clinic.
I was so proud of her, not just because she spoke up for herself, but because she also said the truth. She was saying to the woman directly over the phone, you know what, I've been serving to others all my life. I've been still worrying and caring about others. Now I want to do something for me. And I think that is so powerful and so loving when you can even say the truth directly to a person. Not in a mean way, not in an entitled way, but in a very humble and loving way towards yourself. You just say what's the case. You say the truth directly.
Mm-hmm. But after I said my truth to the lady from the heart, anyways, even though I'm tuning into my future me, which was probably speaking to her, I started to feel guilty. And the guilt absolutely messed up my brain. I became unpresent. I became absolutely confused what I want and who was I supposed to satisfy first. And it wasn't only about money in that moment, it was also about sustaining my power. So if you ever want to sustain your power and you decide for something and you are then feeling a little bit guilty about it, guilt is very contracting, and I felt it over my bladder the most, where I had problems before in my life. I felt, oh my gosh, the guilt is so much like an armor, It's like keeping you stuck and making you undecisive. Then you look like a crazy person to people. Then you are super easy manipulated. I sat in a meditation with that, and I saw how much I feel that it was harming me, the guilt, even though I knew that I spoke my truth and I knew that I meant it the best for everybody and me. I felt guilty, and it wasn't right, and it's not loving to yourself, to myself. So why is it so important? This story is so important because it is extremely, extremely essential for you to speak your truth, because your truth is going to be always for the highest good of all. And if you are not going to live your truth like me, I could also say, oh, I'm not going there, I'll just spend much more money and I'll do something against my will. My hair will be standing up because I'll have goosebumps because I do something what I don't really want to do, but I'll do it because people perceive me this way and I'm a nice girl, nice person, so I will do it for people's happiness, and everybody will be okay and nobody will have an argument or anything like it. And where am I in that story, and where are you in your stories?
The more you keep doing this in your life, the more you forget who you really are, until you completely lose yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Then you're so dependent on the external environment to give you cues, to give you advice, because you have to always consult everybody around you and have to make a decision according to the greater good, instead of going within and deciding what you really want.
Mm-hmm. I have always thought that the greatest good is when I will go around everybody, ask them what they want, and then I will make decision based on that. But the truth is that it was always extremely hard. It requires so much energy, a lot of my life force, and then I had nothing left for me, for myself, ever. And you will never have when you are going to still go to other people, ask them what decision you should make, and you deeply know what you should make. But don't let the guilt get between you and your decision, because then you will become very confused.
So still, if you try to satisfy others, there is still guilt behind that. And guilt is stored on the root chakra and the first, second energy centers, and you can feel how the stomach, the lower belly starts to contract, and it can create disease, it can create problems, because it wants to wake you up to the truth of who you really are. So how can we do that? How can we be effective in starting to speak our truth and not caring what other people think? If you have a chance to think about something before you have to talk to anybody, that's really good, because you can get clear on what you really want. She was making the phone call. She already knew in advance that she wanted to have the treatment at the therapist's private home. She already knew that.
I knew that, but I was very shy, and I shyly asked her if it would be even possible, because I would probably say no, okay, let's not offend anybody, you know.
But of course it's possible. Like, there is no objection to this. She's not harming anyone. She doesn't do anything that is not correct. She's just making a little change. So she knows in advance, this is what I want. This is me. This is my decision, and I'm going for it. And if people will say, you know what, that's not really how we do things here, we don't really approve of that, she doesn't have to worry about that. She already is decided within, this is my way to go. And this gives you the power and the freedom to choose what you want. The second thing is that the more you do it, the better you get at it. So you have to start learning and practicing this skill of listening to yourself, of doing what is important for you. Because the more you do it, the more you know who you really are, and the more you can step into your authentic self.
Also, if you will not feel guilty, maybe you will get pregnant. If you don't feel guilty, maybe your UTIs will go away, and maybe your constipation will go away, and maybe your irritable bowel syndrome will go away, or maybe your much more serious disease can go away, just because you will release this emotion. And I know I felt it today in my meditation, that it's extremely powerful and it's extremely restricting us from living our life.
If you know that the energy of guilt is in your lower body, in your lower stomach, then you can focus on that energy. It is often felt like it's stuck, or it's heavy, or it's contracted. If you can take this energy and just visualize taking it up into your heart and dissolve it there, then you can also make the decision for you much more calmly, much more lovingly. You're not feeling like you're doing something wrong when you say, no, this is what I want, but you're doing it from the heart, from your greater truth.
So I guess today I said goodbye to guilt. I believe that I will have to say goodbye to it 1,000 more times, or 2,000 or 10,000, but now I know how to do it, and you now know how to do it too. So let us know in the comments if you ever felt guilty for something and you didn't even know who to satisfy first, and how it is when you can really truly free yourself from this emotion, because it doesn't serve to anybody, and not even to the people who you are feeling guilty about. So we are looking forward for your comments.